Welcome back, everyone, to Soda City Live. Well, the statistics are alarming in our country when it comes to the number of young people dealing with poor mental health. Self-injury and suicide in kids ages 5 to 17 has gone up 45% in the first half of last year. But help is here. LRADAC, an acronym for Lexington, Richland Alcohol Drug Abuse Council, is holding a youth mental health first aid training. Dr. Pam M. is the Mental Health First Aid Project Manager for LRADAC, one of the organizers of the workshop. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You know, it's really one of those things. I just look at the fact that several pediatric organizations are declaring that youth mental health is at a national emergency level right now. Why is that? I know that's a loaded question.
Yes, and there's probably a lot of different reasons for that.
Right.
I will say that many people don't know that issues of mental health, including like overdoses, were climbing and were worsening even before the pandemic. Certainly the pandemic has really created some conditions and some challenges for youth, young adults, and even parents.
But the wheels were rolling on this decline already.
Exactly.
And so you guys are offering a seminar. Now, I know this is for, geared toward people who work with youth, but who are we talking about? Are we talking about teachers? Are we talking about counselors? Who all should go to this?
Sure, thank you. So mental health first aid has two different components to it. One is a youth program and the other one is an adult. And so the one we're doing is youth, and so this is for adults who work with youth. So yes, you think of teachers, you think of counselors, maybe after school staff, other people who work with youth. And it's going to be on Halloween, Monday, the 31st of October, and we're excited that we're able to host it.
It's an all-day seminar, and this is one that you actually would get credit for, certification for, right? An 8-hour certification?
Yes, it is a long class. It's 8 hours. It is very interactive and engaging, so it's not a sit and get where people sit and stare at a PowerPoint the whole time. So there are a couple things that can happen. One is that you can get CEUs, continuing education credits, that you might need for your licensure. And then also, once you complete the 8 hours and take a test, then you are a certified mental health first aider.
Excellent. Dr. M., I know that when you guys are reaching out, letting the community know about this, you say that all of us could be in contact with a young person who right now is experiencing some kind of mental crisis, and we may not realize it. What kinds of crises are we talking about that we may not recognize?
Well, certainly it could be a variety of things, right? Anything from suicidal ideation to feeling depressed or worthless, certainly excessive worry or concern, anxiety. A lot of times, attention deficit disorder are things that we think about, eating disorders, substance use. The class teaches the attendees how to identify the signs and symptoms of these different kinds of disorders. And then the second part of it is they teach the class how to offer and provide some initial help. And then the third component that they really get to learn and practice is how they might guide that person and or their family to some kind of treatment or recovery support.
That's so fantastic. And it's music to my ears about looking for the signs and symptoms, because I often hear people say, and in covering in news, when someone has died by suicide, and others will say, if we had only known that person was struggling, we would have jumped in to help. And true, sometimes you just don't know, but is it because we had no way of knowing, or because we don't know how to recognize the signs and symptoms?
Well, I think probably more the second, right? There are people who die by suicide where there really are no indications. And then there are many that we do see signs and symptoms, some kind of maybe hints that things really are, not going well. In mental health first aid and the youth version as well, we do not shy away from that. We teach our participants on how to ask questions about that, because where there's secrecy, right, we want to shine light on it, because there can be tragic consequences if people aren't getting help. Certainly being undertreated or not treated at all for something like depression can can create conditions where someone might think or feel suicidal.
You mentioned the people targeted to attend this, but if a mom is listening or a grandmother listening right now and says, I don't need the class credits, I have no real contact with, groups of kids, but I just want to know as a parent, would that person
Absolutely.
be able to fit in for this?
People come from all walks, including, I was telling somebody today, the grandmother on the corner, right? Yes. Absolutely. It really is all about getting the information out, and we're fortunate in that we also have another grantee who is working in Lexington, the Brooklyn Lakeview Empowerment Center. So they have classes that are posted on their website. LRADAC has classes. Our LRADAC grant also includes Orangeburg, Bamberg, and Calhoun.
Excellent.
So I've been down there and certainly making some connections, even at some higher education. Like Claflin, they've been very responsive.
Excellent. I'm so glad to hear that. You've been with LRADAC yourself since, well, what'd you say, the turn of the century?
Yes, before the last century. That's right.
Since 1991.
I know.
What is it about you on a personal level that has you, that's so impressive to stay at one place for so long? What is it that LRADAC is offering to the community that keeps you going into that office every day?
Well, thank you for that question. My initial reaction is I want to say hope, right? So I'm really more on the prevention side, and so my passion and mission is to get this information out to people like the parents and others that really can benefit, because we do have a lot of concerns about the health, mental health of our residents, and really want to provide some resources for them. And they're out there. They're out there. Yes.
And that's it. They're out there. We just need to let our viewers know. Here is the information on the Youth Mental Health First Aid course. It is Monday, October 31st from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. It is at LRADAC's Education Center, which is at 2711 Colonial Drive in downtown Columbia. Again, the seminar is free. If you go to my Facebook page, you'll see the link so that you can sign up and participate.